Okay.
Now it's going. So we're just going to let it record, and I'll let you know when to stop it. So that's basically how you two are going to be working. Nice and slow. If you guys move, make sure your camera moves slow, your lasers move slow. The slower the two of you move, and especially in sync together, the much easier it is to actually capture motion going through these guys.
Got it.
So we can go ahead and kill the lasers for right now. I will also kind of give you the heads up that those lasers will set off car alarms. No pressure, Fred. None at all. See why I spread that up? Where's my thermal imaging camera? Brandon. So, man, I'm on it with the names. So, you're going to try to do two things for us. And normally I hand this to the shortest person in the group. I'm going to tell you why here in just a moment. But the first thing you're going to try to do is you're going to try to keep one of us in view. The reason why is because we're going to be the warmest things out here. So, in the event Kendra is over 100 degrees, you need to let me know so I can kick her off the tour so she can go feel better. So, because you're going to be the only one that knows, right? Because you have the temperature gauges. But the 97 degrees that we're supposed to be is going to give us that contrast of color. So that way we can actually see the cold anomalies moving across the screen when they do appear. The other thing you're going to try to do is keep the sky out to view, which is why I normally give it to the shortest person. So they're the furthest away from the sky. If there's a young child on the group, they're the first one to get it. So, just so you know. But the reason why that is because that blue dot that's bouncing around the screen will default to the blue sky looking for a surface. There's no surface on the sky. So again, do your best, because some of these spaces, that's going to be impossible. So again, the lower you hold that camera, the better it's going to be. So that's why I normally don't put it, like, give it to the tallest person, because he does look like a YouTuber all night, and all the other tours didn't sign up to be filmed, whereas you guys did. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so I think everybody has a great gist. Did we get any readings on, you have a little bit of something going on?
No. I do too.
What do you have?
It's only a 0.1, but it's
always
going up.
So anything on yours, Jacob, is going to, yeah, but
okay.
What I'm going to give you a little bit of, just the insight on it. Up to like 1.1 is natural from the Earth.
Gotcha.
So that's why I say anything about 2.5. That's why Matt's doesn't actually go do anything until it hits 2.5, because that's kind of a natural reading. Cool. So you already had, like, I've seen the orange, so that's about 15 milligauss. We're going to talk more about those readings at the next space. And Jacob, I'm going to have to show you a lot more about that REM pod at the next spot. Also, I do want to move us along. Is anybody hearing anything on their spirit boxes? Those of you with earbuds? Nothing? Heather, what about you?
Just music.
Okay, and that's what you want. So if you hear song lyrics, I want to know what you hear. Okay. So for those of you that have those noisy spirit boxes, if you guys hear "Buy a Kia today," I want to know that you heard "Buy a Kia today." Does that make sense to everybody?
Shout it out. Just shout it out.
You can.
Yeah, okay.
At some point, if I'm getting overwhelmed with too many things to write down, I'll say, hang on, let me get through the history. So, yeah, because again, that will happen as we get better at this, because right now you guys are just learning on how to listen to it. So, let's actually get away from this vehicle. We're going to go to our next spot before he actually backs up. Oh, he already started. Never mind. We'll kind of hang out and let him do his thing.
So should I just turn this off and then start it at each location?
No.
Just leave it on?
You can leave it on for a while.
Okay, cool. All right.
That one has been fantastic. Unlike the thermal imaging camera, like that one likes to lose footage.
Okay. I will. Okay.
Sorry, just trying to find a good spot.
I got stop and listen pretty clear.
Pretty clear? Nice. So let me write that one down. I'm going to pull you guys in as far away from that exit as possible. That's the only entrance and exit for vehicles. And normally I go like back in that corner, but that young lady's like unloading her trunk. But you heard stop and listen. Do we have any readings going on with the EMF detectors? Awesome, Peyton. So that, like, you're getting the gist of how to listen to it. So good deal. So Welcome to another beautiful space of Charleston. You're in a parking lot. Good job. Congratulations. If you guys don't know where to park by the time I'm done with you, I don't know how to help you. I'm sorry. So, just one of those things.
Nothing else we can do.
I know, right? So, this used to be something. That's why we're here. Spirit boxes, I will not be giving you questions, like I said earlier, like what color is George Washington's white horse? Like what we did over there with the big red barn. You are going to get your answers from your spirit boxes. So, let's get into what this space actually is. This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion actually sat in the front of this lot. Eliza's garden was lined up exactly with where we are and went all the way across the lot, and then the servant and slave quarters were in the back of the space for the home. So, and it actually went over that median to where those cars are parked now. Yes, I've been down here with measurements with old maps, so I can know exactly where I'm talking about. So, who the heck were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Charleses, in case you lost track. That's why we always look for secondary clues. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a pretty big deal for us, but I hate politics more than anybody here. We're going to move on. So what do you think? So let's talk about Eliza. That's where things get a little much easier to find. So Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards, not the colonial times that she came from. So when you ask her how old she was when she got married, the answer will not be like 12 and 14. Okay, just so you know. The only reason I bring this up is because Charles, her husband, was over double her age when they married. It's a pretty big age gap for colonial times when you start to think about really what those age numbers could be. She married Charles because her father over in England thought he was dying, and he wanted to see all of his children one last time. He's trying to bring them all home. Eliza didn't think he was dying, so she stayed put because she fell in love. This is 1744. She married Charles out of love, not for a green card or for citizenship. Yes?
Promises.
Ha! I talked about the Constitution already, which is super awesome. So Charles Pinckney, the nephew, introduced the Pinckney's promise to the Constitution. I can't remember exactly what year that was, but that is definitely awesome that you heard that. So, very cool stuff. These are the clues we are looking for. So, good job. Where was I? I lost my train of thought.
She didn't marry him.
Oh, yeah.
green card. Yeah.
So, Dad got better, which means Eliza was correct, and him not going to be dying right away. So he starts sending her gifts from England to this space. Y'all have been in town for at least an hour that I know of. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. I promise you. One of the gifts that he sent her were indigo seeds. She didn't know what to do with it when she got it. She had to learn from her servants and slaves because she didn't know what to do with it. Indigo was already here because our servant and slave culture that was here came from the Gullah culture. They're agriculturists. She learned from them what to do with it, then capitalized on it by moving it to a plantation just north of here. She calls her dad and says, rice plantations are going downhill. We can make a killing with this indigo. Now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. So how about that? Now, that's the business of Eliza. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are all here, right? You guys want to know all the weird junk about it?
Yeah.
So, she was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. First wife Eliza passes away. 5 months later, he's married again. Fellas, that's either really smart or really stupid, depending on how you look at it. So, ironically, both Elizas have a maiden name, not the middle name, maiden name that starts with the letter L. That's all I'm going to give you. You want to find out which Eliza we're dealing with? Ask what the maiden name is. Let's see, the mansion's not here anymore. We can ask what happened to that. If we get an answer, obviously you can ask what year that happened. These are very specific questions, just so you guys know. Let's see. Oh, the children. You can ask how many and what their names are. Leave it alone. That's the only 2 questions you can ask. Reason being, there's a tragedy among those children. If we start poking the bear, all activity stops, including EMF readings. It all goes down to 0, and your spirit boxes give me absolutely nothing. So don't poke the bear. I will tell you what the tragedy is before we leave. Eliza's death is where she's really open, something you wouldn't think she would be, but I normally get answers about this every single night of the week. Eliza, how old were you when you died? Where did you die? Where are you buried? And what president was a pallbearer at your funeral? These are all very specific questions. You guys see why we don't go after yes or no questions? We want the proof. Okay, things about the space. It's very crowded in here tonight. It is a weekend. We're not going to go in between vehicles, filming vehicles, or any of the like with things with vehicles. If people are walking through, obviously it's an Andy's coming type moment for all 3 cameras. Sorry, Matt, I forgot I even had that one out tonight when you were taking pictures earlier. I used to use that with the lasers until I found out how great it is to use it with one of these. So you could still take pictures of the lasers and we might still capture things. So I do have to work with Jacob for just a moment, just so that I can kind of get him going with that REM pod, because I have to show him a little bit more detail about it. You guys will hear about it on your regular audio. Notice how I skip through things, so that way you guys can get to work. But yeah, we're going to spread out. We're going to stay in here for about 10 minutes based on the amount of evidence coming through. I'll be bouncing around with all of you, writing things down. So you should be following Matt and Jacob once I set him free, because they're going to know where the hot spots are. But everybody else, start listening to those spirit boxes, get them cranked up. Sorry about the loud music. It's normally not this loud out here, even on a weekend, so I don't even know where that's coming from. But yeah, even a weekend, I feel like I'm screaming at you guys. You two are like super quiet, like uber quiet. Like, I don't know what to make of this yet. You both have spirit boxes and need to communicate back to me, so we're going to see how this goes. Have you heard anything yet?
No, it's just rambling like different, like the radio station's turning.
Yeah, and if you have a DJ, like I said, to buy IKEA today, I want to know you heard buy IKEA today. I want to see if you're getting the gist on how to listen to it. And you can take it, well, you got the other one, that's open air. So yeah, go ahead and unmute it, start listening in, see what you guys capture. Kendra, I do want to see your word list, so you can kind of hang out with me and Jacob. Everybody else,
Why don't you give me
5.4?
a
Awesome. I'm going to write that
Give me
one
a
down
laser.
here, and I have to write down 12.0.
Give me a red laser.
Hang on.
Just one, just a green.
We're going to go anything above 12. I don't want to write down a million numbers.
I want to just do green.
5.1,
Here.
12 point.
We're at 3.5 consistently right now.
Don't make it dance.
You had a 15 millical. So yeah, we're going to go anything above 12 at this point, just because I want it to
Okay, close it up. Close it up.
Yeah.
Anything?
No, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go. Screw right here. Give me the red one. Red. Go ahead.
I do not want to get you in trouble at all. I'm a rule follower, so no, I won't.
Okay. All right. Let's walk. Let's walk. Just walk.
I'm supposed to walk with them on?
Just with me. Just turn them off. I'll tell you when to turn it back on.
What?
Just wait. Put it over here.
Both?
Okay, that's good.
Keep moving?
No,
Turn it off.
just turn them off.
I can't turn this one off. I can
That's
flip
okay.
it. I gotta flip it up. Oh.
Yeah, do it here. Okay.
Sorry, Brandon, but that's usually at the end of, like, we're going to review it and see what kind of comes out. But otherwise, I'll follow up with you. So, just to let you know, you're on it.
Hmm?
Not just supposed to see if they-
I am. Come here. Yeah, over here. Come on.
It's too late already.
Come in here by me.
What do you want me to do?
No, I just want you to sit so you don't get hit by the car.
What's the other school say? You showed me. What's the matter?
My head's getting full. Yeah,
Dad's getting what?
full.
Full of
Put
what?
the light on. Okay, that's good. All right, you're good. Turn it off. Come here, watch for that guy.
They're actually comparing what happened in Buffalo to the shooting that happened down here. How are we doing on the lasers and camera work?
We're doing it. But I don't know what I've gotten, but we've been.
With the cameras, it's always usually about the review the next day because
Okay.
of how small that screen is.
Okay.
So, again, you've been very mindful of the people walking through. I appreciate that because, again, they have no idea what the hell we're
Oh,
doing.
no, right.
Yeah, so, but I mean, even with your camera, you can still get us a little bit of like side views from time to time. I know this is a weird space because the parking lot is so full. It won't always be this way throughout the night, just so you know. This is very busy for this lot. The fact that people are moving in and out as much as they are is
Right.
like, concerning for me. Just because I come here every night. So it's kind of like, all right, people are finding a new place to park.
Yeah.
So, listen, show what we're doing so we're doing it right.
You got it. Go
Oh.
ahead and point one down.
Yeah, and I'm just backing up a little bit. And,
You got it.
Yeah,
So
that's
go
it.
ahead and straighten it out just so it's a little bit more flush. Hey,
Good.
no, I already know what the stars look like. I'm looking for stuff up here.
Okay.
So
oh,
again,
up
a
there.
little bit more flat.
Okay,
You
got
it.
it.
A little
got
bit more
it.
level.
Okay.
There you go. You're on it. So
All right.
basically, I'm just looking for stuff like this.
All right.
I'm flashing so that way you'll have the example on the camera when you guys get
All
your
right.
video back. Kendra,
Ashes, bomb.
I like ashes.
I figured.
Interview?
You said you asked something.
I said, what happened to your son after she said son, and then she said bomb, and then ashes. Or something said, whatever.
Ashes is relevant here,
No bomb.
but not in the sense that you asked.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's not a good situation.
No, it's not. He's going to have a rough night.
I think we're gonna have a rough night getting around here. I witnessed a fight a couple was that last weekend? Like broke out, like it was craziness. And then last night at Big John's, the bouncer was bouncing somebody out because the guy claimed to have a gun. And the funny thing is we heard weapon, gun, exit. That came up on the word list all at the same time.
Gotta get it up,
It's
right?
kind of like,
Yeah.
told you this stuff can be rough.
It's so hard. Yes,
You guys are giving me a lot, so Peyton, what do you got?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be shooting this way. You're not just supposed to be going on the far hill, right?
I can pick up.
I didn't get anything over. The highest thing I was on like 11. Yeah, I'm walking around.
Completely gone. We had to pick him up and put him in the
Again, you're only going to hear about 10 to 12 terms total. Everybody do one more quick round robin, and then meet me back here. I'm going to hold this space before somebody else parks in. Okay.
Here, Fred, do it down here. Go ahead.
Now that it seems to have quieted down a little bit.
Yeah.
And when I say I've caught orbs on that thing, I mean they are legit orbs. Sizable, movable, it's changing directions.
Cool.
Like, pretty awesome stuff. I've been infatuated with that guy since we got it.
When we were in Lilydale, we actually got a portal with the orbs coming out of the portal. It was amazing.
That device
amazing.
that Victor has it kind of acts like a portal because it takes out the white noise and only gives you the words.
Yeah.
So it's basically a small portal.
Wow.
And it's an upgrade from the SB7 that Oshin's listening to, because what he has is an SB11. It's just they're just upgraded.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the ones you guys normally see on TV, the little ones,
Yeah.
that's what Oshin's using right now. It just has a ball speaker Velcro to it,
Yeah.
so that way she can actually hear it
Yeah.
outside. But Victor's got the massive upgrade to that of the SB11.
Wow.
So basically that is a small portal. Heather's like all over this. I love it.
Unload, do this.
You had unload before. That's crazy. All right, guys, let's rein it in. Let's come on back. Unload, and what was the other one? Kendra's excited about something.
I said, Eliza, are you here? And it said, hurry. And then their numbers popped up.
How high?
Mine went to about the yellow, and I don't know what changed.
My proximity got to blue, and my numbers didn't change.
Numbers did not change.
Yeah.
So you've actually had motion, and you had.
Yes.
Wow. Crazy stuff.
It's still going on.
So here's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about the word ashes that showed up. I mentioned that your name, Jacob, showed up here last night. I'm not at this specific location, just on the tour in general.
Yeah.
So the word list that Mom, is it?
Yeah.
Am I getting it right?
Yeah.
So again, I don't try to assume anything. I never know. Yeah.
You're probably wise to listen to.
Yeah, I never do. So the word list that Kendra's using, everybody, a lot of times it'll give me names of a person on my next tour or their nationality. It's almost predictable. Like, it's crazy. So when I actually heard Jacob, I want to say I heard it on the S-Box recording. So that would be the one that Peyton has. So I want to say it came up on that one and not on the word list, but it is just odd that your name showed up and I didn't. Again, I can't make this stuff up. I don't look for it. It just how it happens.
Exactly.
And when I say people's nationality show up, it'll come up with things like Filipino, Croatian, German. I mean, very specific to somebody either on the tour right now or the next night's tour. So again, you had a name that showed up.
Julian.
I don't know if I have a Julian, but I'm actually off tomorrow, so we'll see if something's going to pop up on my Monday tour for Julian. So very, very interesting. Ashes, I'm excited about that. Obviously, you're going to find out why here in just a moment. You all heard a little bit of something So again, that was part of the point of this exercise. The videos, again, are all about the review for the next day, so I don't always follow up with the videos. I'm like, hey, did you capture something? If you guys see orbs on obviously the camera that you have, so you'll tell me. You'll get excited about things like that. But as far as the thermal, because of the detail that goes into that camera, it's all about the next day. So we'll kind of find out what's going on with that. We are going to stop both videos at this point and give both cameras a break. So go ahead and hit the circle on yours, hit the square, it'll turn to a circle. You got the light flashing?
Yep.
Yep, good deal. Alright, so definitely want to point those one way or the other. So nice slow movements on the cameras. What names did you hear along the way here? Did we get any? Names? Did you hear anything?
I heard teachings is one of them.
Teaching, okay. Anybody else hear anything? Machine? Nothing?
Heather's like on top of everything. And I had a blunt moment there. I thought I waited till we got here.
Oh, no. It's along the way to keep you busy. So, because that's the longest trek. What do you have on your
Ecosystem?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I got no.
I didn't think so.
That's a little vague. So teaching is interesting. We'll see what else pops up with that. Again, that might be a first clue on something else. So we'll kind of see what else pops up. So, with that said, welcome to Lodge Alley. This is a very interesting space. We don't spend a whole lot of time here, and we are going to be somewhat quiet in this location. And Brett, you can shine your lasers down in here if you want to, if she wants to film it. Again, we're just going to make sure that we keep them right in the middle. We don't want to be shining in any windows, which is why I bring us all the way up here. But with this location, when we cross that last crosswalk coming over, that's where the original Charlestown walls used to be. So you are standing on one of the original streets, Charlestown. Charleston used to be called Charlestown, the walled city. So I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived down here. The two buildings we're leaned on right now, they weren't here. Little tiny shotgun houses. So when I say people used to live here, I'm not talking like dozens of houses down this road. I'm talking like 2 to 6 people at a time lived in shotgun houses. So these people didn't have a whole lot of money. So the names I commonly get are Benjamin and John. Every 6 to 7 weeks, those names will show up. Now, you're thinking those are very common names. Can't be ironic when I get the same names every 6 to 7 weeks, and they both lived here in 1801. That's 2 out of 5 people that lived here in 1801. There were 4 different Johns that lived in this alley over a 60-year period. So if we ever get confused as to which one, John will give us his last name as well, which was Johnson. Yes, his name was John Johnson. So, very ironic. But at the same token, you can't mistake when I get the same things over and over again. Here's why I think that's happening. You're standing on Belgian blocks. These bricks are basically made out of granite, whole granite. If you all seem like you're pretty into the paranormal of some sort, you've heard the term limestone before. It is said to stir up paranormal activity because it comes straight from the earth, as does granite. These things have been here for a couple of 100 years. They say when stone hangs out in the same space for long periods of time, it hangs on to the consciousness of memories and basically spits them back out and plays them on a loop. It's called the stone tape theory. So, with Benjamin and John showing up every 6 to 7 weeks, in the loop where are we now? We're on week 1, because I had Benjamin and John show up several times last week and the week before that. I cannot pinpoint a moon phase, the exact day when I'm going to hear them. I have no idea. All I know is it's every 6 to 7 weeks we get those 2 names. Every once in a while we'll get a 3rd name. That name is Jane. That's a 3rd person out of 1801's roster of 5 people. Don't find that coincidental whatsoever. Before people lived here, they actually had a Masonic lodge here, the Freemasons. So that's where the name comes from, Lodge Alley. We do get terms wrapped around the Freemasons as well, so the Freemason, Mason, Brick, and the term Illuminati loves to show up here. I have to chuckle every time I hear Illuminati, because it normally comes up on one of the portable spirit box. First off, who the hell is talking about the Illuminati on the radio? And second, why am I only hearing it while I'm in this space? So again, interesting. I'll tell you why here in a moment. Last night when I mentioned the term Illuminati, the word symbols showed up on the spirit box word list. Obviously the Illuminati are known for having a lot of symbols. So very interesting that popped up that way. And the name Eliza just popped up. I'll explain why here in just a moment. When people actually lived here, they did do an archaeological dig to learn more about those people. They found some of their tools and silverware, learned that these people worked for. It would make sense because the other side of the Charlestown wall would have been on East Bay Street, across the street from where we were. The smell of low tide would be coming down here quite a bit. So the rich people of Charleston are not going to put up with that. If you've been walking around town, I'm sure you noticed our houses are skinny in the front and they go long back. There's a couple of reasons for that. The main reason is you were taxed based on how much street side you took. So the skinnier your house, the less taxes you paid. So the other reason is because that puts a piazza on the house. That's basically a front porch on the side, and it puts a door on it. It keeps the smell of low tide from coming in. They would open up their second-story windows and allow the cool breeze from the water to come in. Cool air drops, heat rises. It's old school air conditioning. It just keeps everything fluent inside the home. So again, that's why when people come down here, and I used to tell them, like, you thinking like the Pinckney Mansion that I just showed you, it's that broad against the street that I just showed you that picture. The reason being is, first off, the Pinckneys had indigo money, and most of them were politicians outside the city. Either they're not paying taxes at all, or they were going to pay them because they already had the money to pay it, and they just wanted to show off their beautiful home. So again, it is one of those kind of instances. So with that said, this is a very interesting space, and I always lollygag here for a little bit, giving you the history, because again, this isn't a space where we ask questions. We're waiting for something to happen, either on a recording, a word list, something.
I got some orbs.
You have some orbs? Awesome. Can't wait to see those. So somebody last night actually thought there was an orb coming from me all the way down to the ground, but when I seen the speed of it and how it was moving, and the fact that it started outside the camera and exited outside the camera, I can't, like, normally I would not normally say that's an insect. So hopefully you have something that's developing in the frame and leaving in the frame. So that would be pretty awesome stuff. Yeah, this is a very cool alley to be able to capture orbs. The next space we're going to go to is another alley. However, I cannot take you all the way through many devices now. It doesn't matter what device you have now. It's going to be like you have them all, like Monday, when I give you back your data. So again, it's one of those things where I'm going to have all of the data from everything you guys are doing together. So you're all just doing one job instead of Matt who's got two. So it's like multitasking. Love it. It's all over it. All right, let's go through the rest of this alley so we can go up to the next one where I can't go take you all the way through, right? That's the fun.
I'm just going to go to the one at the end, yeah. No, I'm getting headaches. Why? Because I'm sensitive to these things. No, don't you dare. Shut up. Okay, I just want to get in here. Just hold on, wait for me.
It doesn't get above or below about 80 degrees. So, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's great. It's a great place to go visit.
Brandon, if you can go on the other side of Oshin, please, so that way you can get a little bit of, like, very inconspicuous of the alley. Don't be YouTubers, basically. So, you're going to start to see other tours. We're getting into that more popular area. They didn't sign up to be filmed, we did, right? So that's why we're going to be very inconspicuous. That's coming from the building behind you, just so you know. So this alley behind me is called Philadelphia Alley now, but it used to be called Jewelers Alley. So this is where the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. We named it Philadelphia Alley. What's so funny? What did you hear? There's no laughing on a ghost hunt.
She just said it right now. Disregard her. Disregard her.
You heard what?
Must be good.
Huh? We'll find out. I'll write that down here in a moment. I'm not disregarding it. I just want to kind of get through this. There's a lot of tours around us. So, where was I? Oh, dueling became illegal and stupid. So they named this alley after a city that helped us out of one of our many, many fires that I mentioned earlier. Because we've literally had dozens. Philadelphia happened to be that city. So that's why it's called Philadelphia Alley now. We all tell the story of one specific duel. However, I tell the story a little differently because you're ghost hunting. It's not just a ghost story. So, don't become a ghost. That's my job.
It's a cat.
Yeah, so the story goes a little something like this. There's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Joseph Brown Ladd. He moves down here because his fiancée, Amanda, just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow. The attorney thinks the doctor is just after Amanda's money. So the attorney tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. So the doctor moves to Charleston to prove that he's not just after her money. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. So it wasn't a very good start to his stay in Charleston. Somebody sees what's going on. His name is Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop on Ralph because Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. RI shows up here a lot for us on any type of spirit box. Those are the two main characters, by the way, the doctor and Ralph. So we need the secondary clue so we know who the heck it belongs to. It's not just an ironic thing. So anyway, Ralph says, dude. He didn't really say dude because this is the late 1700s. He said, dude, you don't want to stay here. He's got a gunman inside that's going to try to kill you. I got some friends at 59 Church Street where you can rent a room and you'll be safe. This is a very loud group coming through, so I'm going to let them pass so I'm not screaming at you all. He takes him up on the offer. Right back to it, right? Takes him up on the offer, and Ralph and the doctor become friends. The doctor's practice starts to take off. He's making his own money now. He's proving that he's not just after Amanda's cash flow. So, he becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. Every city, haunted city you'll ever visit has a cliched whistling ghost. So, with that, ours is a doctor. Let's go with it. Here's what goes on from there. Ralph and the doctor go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's just the way the hierarchy worked back then. They talk about these plays on the way home. They go see William III one night. They start arguing over the new actress that was in town. The doctor thought she was fantastic, possibly amazing. We had the word amazing show up. It's a funny joke. A little inside joke between me and Kendra. Sorry. Didn't mean to exclude everybody else. But anyway, Ralph didn't think she was so great. They start arguing, then Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. They go their separate ways. But Ralph is from here. He goes to his friends at the newspaper and puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. The doctor sees the ad and rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. So they come down, they take their 10 paces. The doctor turns and points his gun in the air and shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, and he's willing to forgive. But Ralph, sorry, Victor, you've been the quiet one. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. So the doctor doesn't die either, but Ralph also proved his point that he's still pretty angry. The doctor drops to the ground, but his friends pick him up and carry him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. He's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed it out himself. So, we do get a lot of terms wrapped around this, but the ghost portion of this, why all the other tours go down there, is they're listening for the whistles from the doctor. I used to take my tours all the way through there, and the reason we're allowed to go halfway, but it's not fair for my groups of 10 to be working around multiple groups of 20 to try to find that whistle, because normally it would be, you're going to listen to the regular audio. So, as you walk down there with your voice recorders on your phones looking for the whistle later on, keep in mind everybody in Charleston knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or on Queen Street of the other side throws a whistle down the alley. I do it every single night on my way home after meeting with you guys. My garage is right there. We're going to end at the next corner. So again, I do it every single night. When my 15-year-old daughter's on the tour with us, she actually races me to see who's going to throw the whistle down first. What she doesn't realize is I can whistle while I'm talking. So if we're still talking, I'm going to throw a whistle every single time. But it is fun. So let's talk about how I got kicked out, because that's what Oshin's been waiting on. So this alley didn't always come all the way through. It's been through multiple different changes, just so you know, which means the bricks on the other side are older. Those bricks on the other side are sun-dried bricks from slave children. We have a full handprint and fingerprint swipes from those slave children. The handprint is an anomaly around Charleston. They're in 3 different places, and I used to always show it to my tours because it's a matter of how far we've come, right? So, however, everybody wants to treat it like it's some kind of weird seance. They want to put an EMF meter near it, a spirit box, those kind of things. I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid's not staring at that brick in the afterlife. There's no point for us to stop. One night, November 26th of 2020, yes, I remember the date, Matt. It's very important. My group decided they're all going to huddle around that one brick with the handprints in it. It's right outside the gentleman's dining room window. He's not very happy with me. So, my daughter thought it was fantastic because Dad was getting yelled at by one of the locals. And next day was Thanksgiving, November 27th. I did not have a tour. I'm the new guy on the block. But November 28th, I got a phone call from the tourism office asking me to go down halfway like everybody else or reroute my tour. Again, I didn't think it was fair for my groups of 10 to be working around other groups of 20. So I decided to reroute. Again, I'm very new at this, but at the point I was very new, and I told my group, we're going to wing it and see what happens. They didn't have all the cool gear you guys have now. I've upgraded a lot. And they were cool with that. I didn't tell them what we were going to be discussing, but somebody hears the name Anne on a spirit box. They had no idea we were going to be discussing female pirate Anne Bonny. I'll be honest, I did not even believe this story. I was going up into that corner because it was kind of the popular place to go. So let me see what happens and see if I can actually capture anything. I tell what I knew of Anne Bonny, and then somebody hears the number 300. I have no idea what 300 means at the time. So when I'm going through the data the next morning, I'm doing my research. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her trial. These are things I cannot make up. So when we get to that space, please understand that that is a hit or miss location because Anne Bonny is said to be seen all over town. At the time that we're there, we're rolling the dice. The great thing is that I've read, I can't tell you how many books on piracy and Anne Bonny alone. So the things I will tell you tonight are common things around pirates because there's a lot of holes in it. Nothing can be absolute truth. So again, when I tell you what I do know, it is going to be based off of multiple resources. So kind of keep that in mind. But again, this story is fantastic, at least the way I put it together for you, because you're ghost hunting, makes it a whole lot different. But when we go up and around the corner, keep filming if you guys want to, as we go up to the St. Philip's Church and Cemetery, and we'll kind of pick our spot to see how the other tours are moving along. Has anybody heard anything or any terms show up since we've been here?
Suitable, the Grant, the name Grant. It was a capital G. I don't know.
Oh, they're all capitals
Yeah.
on there. Heather, anything out of yours?
No.
Oh, you didn't have your earbuds in it. Peyton, nothing?
I heard black.
You heard black. All right, so we're going to go up and around a corner. Keep listening to your spirit boxes. Again, you guys are going to tell me what the evidence is giving me so I know what stories I need to tell. Is that fair? Again, sometimes I just let the evidence tell me. Carpet? Notice that there's a gate in the middle of that wall back there. In the event there was a loser to the duel, meaning a dead guy, they would actually bring the dead body through that gate to get to the cemetery behind me. It was a shortcut. So again, I call it the death gate. Remember that? Yeah, the alley didn't go all the way through, remember. So otherwise they'd have to carry that body, the dead weight, all the way up to Queen Street and come back down around to get to the cemetery to drop the body before they could go celebrate the winner. So the quicker they can go get a pint, the better off they would be. That gate actually does have a wrought iron gate on it, and it does stay locked all the time, so when you guys walk down there, you'll be able to see that gate. I call it the death gate, but not many people actually know why that gate is actually there, so I like to show off that little stupid nugget of knowledge I have about Charleston. So, have a seat, and this way you guys can actually tell me what you've heard, what you've seen. We're going to chill here for a few minutes.
Okay.
You guys paid me to go to work. I'm going to give you a break. How's that work, Laura? Does that work for you?
That works.
All right. I'm going to ask one more time, just because I thought it was hysterical the first time I asked. Are we capturing ghosts out here?
I think so.
Oh, you do now?
I do. I changed my mind.
I thought the first one was
Well, she
hysterical.
saw some more.
Well, it got to about 12.
Get out of here.
Just right here. Then it
We
went,
don't normally get EMS.
yeah, I just got a 12 and then went back down to 0.
I'm excited.
Give me
This
some-
is me
give
excited,
me some
everybody.
red.
Don't hear this?
Wait.
I'm not the guy where I get scared and shove somebody into a dark corner. This is not television. We have a 12 milligauss reading from the millimeter, which is an anomalous piece by itself. This is not the Pinky Mansion. You're going to find that out real fast. So, a couple of things. Oh, by the way, Lori, this place should excite you a lot with that camera, just because this is where I capture a lot of orbs. So, a lot of very big orbs. With that said, we're going to be discussing the little tiny building over there with the crosses on it. First off, those are not crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not sure what earthquake bolts are, they're basically turnbuckles. If we have another earthquake like what we did in 1886, you can turn those turnbuckles and it's supposed to straighten the building back up again. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. So, I point these out because you guys have been looking at earthquake bolts your entire time in Charleston. You just didn't realize it. They're in the shape of pineapples and lion heads and all kinds of crazy Charleston decor all over town. It's just part of our charm. But these are the very first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston put in. Why? Because this is the oldest government building in South Carolina. It is the gunpowder magazine. It has served in 7 different wars, including the Civil War. That was its last service. So, we talked about the Charlestown walls earlier. The parking garage across the street, where some of you may have already parked, that is actually where the wall stood. It went up Cumberland Street, just past the powder magazine, and started moving south behind me to actually fortify the gunpowder magazine into the corners of the walls. It did that on purpose. It's 3 blocks away from the water. If it gets attacked from a Revolutionary warship or a pirate ship coming off the water, it's going to have a hard time getting through the 32-inch thick walls. So let's pretend that it does. The cannonball comes in, it blasts through the walls. There's sand in the roof from the early 1700s during its construction that's supposed to go up in the air with the explosion and then fall to put up the fire of the gunpowder. That's another great idea that doesn't work. So we had another powder magazine closer to the battery. It did get attacked. Sand went up, the building burned to the ground. It doesn't exist anymore. This one's just never been attacked. So we are here because this building is what I call a familiar. It's basically like using a toy to attract a child ghost. So Anne Bonny, her career started during the middle of this building's construction, which took 10 years. Does that sound like a government small building, 10 years? No, not at all. I'll answer for you. So 1708. Follow me, there's a lot of twists. A young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She's with her father and his mistress. The mistress is her mother. Are you guys with me so far? All right. The 3 of them are running away from his wife. If I say that too fast, you all look at me like, what the hell did you just say? So, guys, basically, how angry was that wife? Just pointing that out. So, they actually land in Georgetown, just north of here. Dad buys a plantation. Mom dies pretty quickly, which means he has to send young Anne down here to Charlestown to keep everything afloat. She's the salesperson now. So, Anne, back home in Ireland, was kind of a badass. They say she actually killed one of her servants when she was like 10 or 12 years old with a knife to the belly. Like, she was kind of hardcore. Keep that mentality of her in the back of your minds as we go through the rest of the story. We're going to fast forward. This is done in 1713. Pirates are coming through town in 1715. Anne is about 16, 17 years old at this time. So, she falls in love pretty quickly. This guy's name is James Bonny. You guys see where this is going, right? I give you guys a lot of clues. Dad doesn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. I wouldn't approve either. They run away to Jamaica. They get married. Anne Cormack becomes Anne Bonny, the most famous female pirate of the Golden Age. However, James Bonny is a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward in her eyes. This is not who she wants. She falls in love again a few years later. Guy number 2. I'm going to keep track for you. You already know this story, Ken? You already know this one? You don't know Anne Bonny's story?
Wait, who does she end up with?
Oh, Jack Rackham.
John Rackham.
John Rackham.
Jack, well.
Calico Jack was his
Calico
name.
Jack.
So,
There you
Calico
go.
Jack is the guy that she's looking for. He is basically the same guy that they based your Captain Jack Sparrow off of. He does have his own ship, and Anne wants to be part of it. You can't put a girl on the crew. They curse pirate ships. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy, you can be part of the crew, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy back home in Ireland to keep her away from his wife. She's like, whatever, I'm a pirate, let's go. We're all adults here, we can put 2 and 2 together. Being a female in his quarters, she's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a female. So he drops her off in Cuba. We'll have the baby here. My friends here will actually help you out. Come back, we'll figure it out later. She has the baby, returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to this child. She's also dressed like a female. She doesn't give a damn anymore about hiding her gender. This makes Calico Jack pretty angry. While she was away giving birth to Jack's firstborn, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck, and Anne's going to go flirting to make Jack even more mad, because that's what Anne does. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females doing the exact same thing, the same ship. That young lady's name was Mary Read. And Mary Read was an English pirate. Her and Anne become friends, possibly lovers, we'll never know for certain, and Mary becomes part of the crew. The British find out where they are. They send their entire fleet of ships to take down one pirate ship. Anne and Mary are the only 2 not drunk enough to come up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks. Obviously, the ship's going to get taken. As they're being arrested, she looks at her captain in bow, Calico Jack, and says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The word dog being very prominent here. Now, the judge, his name was Nicholas Laws. I know I already mentioned Nicholas Trott across the street. My name shows up around this corner a lot. You can see why. Nicholas Laws wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly after he's already tried and hung Calico Jack, the captain, and the drunken pirates that wouldn't come up and fight. So the 2 ladies go in front by themselves. They reveal their gender. He doesn't care that they're female. he's still going to hang them because they're still pirates. However, they scream out, "We plead our bellies," meaning they're both claiming to be pregnant. You cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still here in Charlestown area with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her back home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, guy number 4. Yes, we're going to count Mary Reed because we don't know for sure. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. I know, very abrupt ending. What happens to Mary Reed? Anybody know? She died a year later, 1721, in the Jamaican jail from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. Yeah, it's probably scurrilous and bumpy and gross and whatever else you guys want to come up with. Now, I left out 2 questions for all of you Spirit Box folks on purpose because, again, this story has a lot of holes. The questions you can ask here: the name of Anne Bonny's parents, that's the father and the mistress. The name of Calico Jack's ship, I also left out. So if you want to find out what that is, by all means, ask your Spirit Boxes. I did tell all of you at the beginning of this tour that I kind of gave you that heated warning if you're feeling ill. I am going to take 1 more minute of your time because this actually occurred based on the story. So, back in September of last year, I brought my group back here, probably around the same size. The kid next to me goes white as a ghost, starts to faint. I had to pick him up by his armpit. His boyfriend picks him up on the other side so he doesn't hit his head on the ground. We take him over to that brick wall, which is where we're going to end, by the way. He's feeling better after I go get him a bottle of water from the vending machine. I then tell the story. It's important to know that they don't know what I just told you. After I send everybody out with their devices, they pull me aside. "Nick, we have to tell you something." I'm like, "What's going on?" "We are 2 transgender males," meaning I had 2 females dressed as males, just like Anne and Mary on my tour, and didn't know it. It made complete sense as to why one of them started to pass out the minute he entered the space. Take that for what it's worth. These are things I cannot make up. I am a good writer, but I'm not that good. So, again, this is why I give the heated warnings. For those of you with cameras, all 3 of you, and lasers, you can go to the front of the powder magazine. You would have to exit the lot through that exit over there, make a left, shine your lasers in the front lawn only, because otherwise you're going to be shining in somebody's living room, because those are apartments above it. But get some footage up there. If you want to go back and see if there's any free, like no tours over in front of the cemetery by the sign, you can go get some footage over there. We're going to spend our last time here, so 5, 10, 15 minutes based on what you guys are telling me of what's going on with the Spirit Boxes. I'm excited about your 12. If we get anything else, I'll be even more excited, but definitely turn on your REM pod. Take lots and lots of pictures. And as far as everybody else goes, let's get those Spirit Boxes cranked up and let's have some fun in our last spot. Are you still recording?
Yeah.
So do a stop and restart again. So just hit that square for me. I just want to make sure we don't lose anything because you've been recording a long time.
No, I couldn't. That's only a walk.
Oh, okay, cool. Got it. All right, let's
Yeah,
go.
I've got a lot of orbs.
Did you? There's a lot
We're
going on
good.
in here.
What,
Yeah.
you just want to do something here?
Well, yeah, let's go walk
Yeah.
over there.
I said, tell me what your parents' names are. It popped up Rebecca. I mean,
Now, why don't you give me some light over here? On the floor, just on the ground.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I could say yes, but one person. I'll take it. Okay. Everything is perfect. Yep.
You didn't even know.
Keep it up.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Very attentive group, I must say.
Oh, I'm listening.
I know, I talk a lot. You guys sometimes have to shut me up.
Now I need those names of Jamaican.
You turn that thing up.
I am definitely need those names.
Nope, I don't know who that is, but I don't see that name very often. How many orbs do you think you got, Laura?
A lot. I don't know. At least back here, at least 3. At least right here.
Nice. So I still got to look for orbs. Cool.
Oh no, I ain't even doing it.
Yeah, let's go to the left. Right here, huh? Yeah.
You want to stand here, towards there.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Have to stand back. I don't see anything go through here.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, turn off. You got people behind you. Here, I need you to do something for me.
Stop.
Can you pull this off?
I think it's a personal.
That's right, just pull my arm out and then I'll worry about the rest of it. Okay, that's good. Let's go over to the cemetery.
Okay. Come on. Let's get going.
What was the name of his ship?
I can't think. Black Jesus, Queen Anne.
And didn't we see that original pirate flag? We saw that original pirate flag.
Yeah.
Let's go over by the cemetery real quick.
What did you say? They're not interested. Come on, we're supposed to be working together. If I don't use these two devices, I feel like I'm not doing it.
I understand, okay.
Doing it.
Okay. Hey, Fred, stop. Where are you going?
How do you get in?
Over there, they're talking about that. And we can't go there, they're there.
I don't see any entrance.
I know, so we're not going to go there because they're there.
Let's go back.
Yes. Yeah, let's just do it on the ground. Give me some. Okay, I want you to walk and I'll follow you. Come back this way.
Vital light. To see stuff walk through.
I understand.
Raise your camera angle up. I can't see the red screws.
You're right. They're hard. Let's walk over here.
How are we doing?
We're doing good.
Any crazy orbs going through their lasers, you think?
No, not that I can tell.
Okay. I'm excited to see what you saw in
Yeah.
real time. So that's gonna be super cool.
Take cash.
You said tape? Tape cash? Yeah, the Charleston, South Carolina stuff, I didn't say that. Have you used one of those before?
We have.
Oh, which one do you have?
I just got something.
We haven't got like those. Some of them like take the car.
Stay there. Okay. I did get something.
Any other device that's going to come up with that. They just designed a new device. It's kind of like a digital Ouija board. So it's using EMF spikes to be able to, like, it's going through all of the alphabet. So an EMF spike will actually make it stop on a letter and give you like an anagram. Like, it's really cool. So they're on back order already. It just launched last week. So and it's small enough for you to have on a tour. So it's kind of like, that is like the perfect device. And the fact that I can take a digital Ouija board on a tour, that's what scares the hell out of most people to begin with. So, because they don't want to touch a Ouija board. So, but yeah, I can't wait to see on that guy. And it's really cool.
Right.
Right now, right over there, I set up a sign that can go.
I don't know if it's. I got treat Earth right.
Well, could you move away?
Interesting set of terms
Just
you're
be
getting.
quiet.
Alright. Nobody else is giving anything super specific. Machine, you got anything? Nothing?
Okay, that's good.
Kendra? Alright, let's head over to the wall. Hey, you got anything? Alright, last set of picture pages. So, I am excited about the name Jack showed up on the word list. How long ago was that?
Let's see here.
Should be a timestamp.
That's at 10:29.
10:29. It's 10:52, so we probably live in coming around the corner from Philadelphia Alley.
Yep.
So definitely in a relevant space. So I'm excited about that. So we'll see if anything else pops up around it. The name Jack showed up here last night. Here's where things are going to get funny. I'm going to go around so everybody can kind of see what Calico Jack looked like. So to me, it didn't really mean anything in real time, but it doesn't mean that it's not relevant. So I do research to see if it's actually relevant. You'll still get the list of terms of everything everybody heard or saw. So kind of keep that in mind. 40% is caught in real time. The other 60% comes out of your media. By the way, for you picture takers, it doesn't get any better than that for Charleston. You have the St. Philip steeple and almost a full moon. It's at 98% tonight. So Again, here's what's going to happen from here. I'm going to get you guys my cards so you guys can check out the website ahead of time stuff too. And the 12 that he got is anomalous by itself. Again, we don't get EMF readings in this location. So when we do get something, it's usually like a one-off, and it's very exciting because that means something else is going off too. The battery on the camera also died as well. Now, I can't say that it was fully charged because, again, I haven't used it in months because I had other, upgrades in the kit. So, did that work out having two devices? Yes. So, creepiest thing, I actually one night had, it was a disembodied voice, meaning it was not radio chatter, come through on a reverse spirit box. A reverse spirit box works completely different than everything you guys had tonight. It basically is, how it operates is it's just a man and a woman saying things backwards. So it basically sounds like garbage to us. When something comes through in forward motion, it's usually pretty clear. So over at the Pinckney Mansion site, I heard baked beans breakfast on the reverse spirit box because that's what I was using. Because it's a little creepy, kind of weirds people out. The next morning, I looked at obviously the red spirit box recording, and I heard "I'll fix you," and then I had T on the word list on the list that Kendra had. "I'll fix you baked beans breakfast and tea." That's a full sentence. I didn't know what the hell baked beans breakfast was. Somebody on my tour had to explain that that's an English dish. Like, I was clueless. Eliza Lucas Pinckney is originally from England. So again, it made complete sense. That's the kind of stuff I live for. Just the other night, we don't want him here at the Pinckney Mansion site. So I was a little worried about tonight. Now, what's funny is last night's tour gave me "We Don't Mind You Coming Here," the Cars song came through at the Pinckney Mansion site. So it's kind of like, you guys make up your mind. Do you want me here or not? So, the creepiest, I don't normally get creeped out. I get excited about things. As far as the best investigation I've ever done, that would probably be the Flight 93 Memorial.